Hey there, welcome back to Mr. Crime Diver, where we talk about all things related to tech crimes. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Cash App founder Bob Lee, who was stabbed to death in an argument with suspect's sister in the pre-dawn hours of April 4th. In the world of tech, Bob Lee was a rising star. He co-founded Cash App, a mobile payment service used by millions of people around the world. In addition to helping develop the Android mobile operating system with other software engineers at Google between 2004 through 2010, he was the Chief Technology Officer of Square and the Chief Product Officer of MobileCoin. But on a fateful night in San Francisco, Lee's life was cut short in a violent, passionate altercation.
14-hour copy. There's a male screaming help, saying someone stabbed me. He is not giving a 20. This is a cell phone site location. Advise he's bleeding out. Medics are around code 3. He's back. 1756. 365 Main, cross off Folsom and Harrison. However, that's a cell phone site. We're still waiting for an exact 20. He is outside on the street. Hour copy. There's a male screaming help, saying someone stabbed me. He is not giving a 20. This is a cell phone site location. Advise he's bleeding out. Medics are around code 3. He's back. 1756. 365 Main, cross off Folsom and Harrison. However, that's a cell phone site. We're still waiting for an exact 20. He is outside on the street.
We're following breaking news in San Francisco. A high-profile Bay Area tech executive has been killed in a stabbing. Sources tell NBC Bay Area that Bob Lee was attacked early this morning in the 2 a.m. hour in the city. Lee was the chief product officer of MobileCoin and the former CTO of Square. He was also a well-known angel investor. The 43-year-old Lee was stabbed on Main Street in the East Cut neighborhood. This is near Rincon Hill and the Bay Bridge. SFPD says when officers arrived, they found a man had been stabbed. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital where he later died. No further details from investigators as to what led to this deadly stabbing.
Bob Lee's employees were so shocked of the incident that some could not imagine losing a great community leader.
He was incredibly personable, wonderfully friendly, and just like a force of nature. You made a friendship with Bob, you were friends with him pretty much forever. He was a very sweet, thoughtful person. I can't imagine anyone targeting Bob. He was not a person who garnered any sort of animosity towards people. If anything, he garnered respect and love, and people really enjoyed hanging out with him.
Bob Lee was a visionary entrepreneur who had a passion for technology and a heart for people. He built Cash App from the ground up, and his hard work and dedication made it one of the most successful payment apps in the world. Also, thinking ahead of competitors by incorporating support for Bitcoin trading made it head and shoulders above the rest. In fact, in September 2021, the service reported 70 million annual transacting users and $1.8 billion in gross profit.
I left Google a year and a half ago. Google is a place that has lots of great Java infrastructure in place. And I left for a small startup where we had to build all the infrastructure from scratch. So for over the last year and a half, I've been somewhat of a Java noob and gotten to see everything through the eyes of someone who's new to Java. Square is also largely, at least on the server side, a Ruby and Rails shop. I've also learned Ruby and Rails this year quite a bit, and I'll program quite a bit of code in that.
Shares of Square trading higher today, up about 5%. We've seen that stock up about 20% over the last month or so. You think the Cash App is really what it's all about?
Yes. First of all, thanks very much for having me. The Cash App is a game changer for Square. It's a game changer, frankly, for a lot of people in the United States. There are 85 million unbanked and underbanked consumers in the United States, and Cash App is helping to address their needs. With Bitcoin really taking off, the Cash App enables those who want to buy and sell Bitcoin to do so through its platform. So you really have a barbell effect between the unbanked and unbanked on the one side, and traders of cryptocurrency on the other, and it's a very potent combination.
However, his pushing the envelope in tech also led to him pushing the envelope in his personal life and maybe in a married friend's relationship.
Prosecutors revealing for the first time the circumstances leading up to the killing in court documents, including that Lee had been hanging out with Momeni's sister, Khazar. Prosecutors say Lee was at an apartment here on the 1500 block of Mission with Khazar and other friends. He then left for his hotel, where Momeni began grilling him on whether his sister was, quote, doing drugs or anything inappropriate. Lee assured Momeni she was not. The two later met at Khazar's apartment in the Millennium Tower just after midnight on April 4th. They were seen leaving on security video in Momeni's BMW and driving here to the 400 block of Main Street, where prosecutors say Momeni and Lee got out and Momeni stabbed Lee 3 times, one of the wounds piercing his heart. Prosecutors said Momeni used a kitchen knife in a planned and deliberate attack.
Bob Lee suffered knife wounds that pierced his heart and lung, according to a newly released autopsy report from the San Francisco Medical Examiner's Office. And the heart wound was fatal. The toxicology report also shows Lee, 43, had cocaine, ketamine, and alcohol in his system at the time of the stabbing, but the substances were not indicated as a factor in his death. But everyone wanted to know, why was he murdered?
There was some type of dispute between the two men, at least that Mr. Momeni was upset with Mr. Lee about something prior to them leaving her residence. This is a person who was in his vehicle with a kitchen knife. That's not something most of us carry around at all times with us, and so that this was something that he intended to do.
Nima Momeni, an associate of Lee's in the tech industry, has been charged with murder for Lee's death. Momeni was scheduled to be arraigned in a San Francisco courtroom Tuesday afternoon, but his arraignment was rescheduled for May 18th.
Nima Momeni's family arrived in court on Friday morning as the alleged killer faced a judge for the first time since being arrested Thursday. Momeni didn't speak, but made a heart sign to his family while escorted in handcuffs.
Authorities have said Lee and Momeni knew each other and were in a vehicle shortly before the stabbing and may have had an argument over the sister and Lee, potentially being in an underground sex swinger club, and the crime scene showed that intense argument.
Those living in the area where Lee was found said they witnessed a heartbreaking scene.
It looked vicious. I took her out at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, and I saw the blood smeared on right around here on the building.
Bob Lee's death is a tragic reminder of how quickly life can be taken away. His family, friends, and colleagues are all grieving for the loss of a truly remarkable person. We can only hope that justice will be served and that his legacy will live on through the company he helped create.
Just, overwhelmed.
His dedication to his kids was first and foremost.
It's just almost numbing. I think everybody close to Bob is just in shock because there was no one who I don't think didn't love Bob.
Bob Lee's life was tragically cut short, but his legacy lives on. He will be remembered as a visionary entrepreneur, a kind and generous person, and a beloved member of his community. Rest in peace, Bob Lee. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like, and we'll see you in the next video.